Johnny Herrera, thanks for sitting down with DrDrivers.com.
Well, thanks very much.
How did you get your start in racing?
Well, actually, I grew up working on my dad's race car when he was racing. He started back in the early 70s. He started late. He never been in a race in his career until about 1971. And then I grew up around it, working on his cars, you know, running around the pits, just getting all greasy and getting dirty, and you know, as boys do. So, you know, did that. Worked on his car. Started racing go-karts probably 79 or 80. Raced that for a couple of years. From there, Dad was still racing at that time, but I was racing go-karts. Got to a point where Dad was trying to do a little bit more in his racing, so we sold the go-kart so he could buy a sprint car. He was racing modifieds before, you know, it was early in his career. He wanted to buy a sprint car, so got rid of the go-kart stuff, bought some sprint car stuff. He started racing sprint cars just for a couple of years, and then I guess I have to say my first sprint car race myself would have been '84 in Albuquerque, Mexico.
What has been your most amusing, embarrassing moment in racing to date?
There's not really one that sticks out in my mind. Besides, I guess I was on an outlaw race one time and started in the front row and thought we had a good chance to win anything, and ran down the first lap and spun out. So that's pretty embarrassing, you know. You start front row of a feature and you're running down the first lap, first corner, and you think you're gonna get, you know, the first lap, don't even get one lap in, and you spin out. It's probably the most embarrassing I can think of off the top of my head.
How did it feel to win the King's Royal?
Awesome. You know, at that time in my career, you know, I just come off the previous year running for Guy Forbrook. The 5-car won the Knoxville Championship, and then in '96 I got down riding with the 47 with Gil Sonner, Casey's General Store car. And you know, we had an okay year first year, but it wasn't great. And then winning that race just kind of offset the whole year. It was just an awesome feeling. And, you know, from then on, I think winning a big race like that gives you more confidence that there's plenty more out there that you can't get.
Wasn't that the year, and that sideboard off on that?
Yeah, the sideboard on the wing kind of collapsed. Didn't come off, but the braces on the top came loose. Don't know why or for what reason, but it happened there, and kind of made it really more exciting, I think, for the fans and for the spectators. And I think that was a TV race, and even for the commentators on TV, it made it a little more exciting for them as they were making comments of how I was adapting to it. You always got to know that's happened, and honestly, I didn't know nothing about it until after the race was over.
You're going to run a true outlaw schedule in '09. Why is that?
Well, I'm going to do that. If nothing else comes about, I'll run my family car, run wherever I can, whether it's ASCS 360 races, outlaw races, you know, 410 outlaw races, or non-wing races, per se, USAC or whatever may be close in the area. I can't afford to travel too far from our home base and run the family car, but if I can't, you know, I'll race wherever there's a race, I'm going to race.
Of the old school drivers, who would you like to compete against? Name at least 3.
Well, first of all, I'll probably have to say, mention my dad. I didn't get to race. I think I only got to race against my dad maybe once or twice early in my career. When I started, he was still racing, and I think it was about 2 or 3 races, 3 at the most. So that's probably one guy I'd really like to have raced with more. Another one is old school AJ Foyt. He was a racer, a true grit, mean, hardcore, if I can say this, asshole, I guess, back in the day. And I think that he'd been kind of a fun guy to race with. Third, he's not an old timer, but I raced with him still to this day, is Steve Kinzer. I think he's probably one of the all-time greats ever in sprint car racing. I mean, I'm 42 and he's 54, whatever he is, but even as I was growing up, he was still, you know, I was still starting. He was already in his career. He's just always been an idol of mine, probably to this day, he still is.
What has been your most memorable moment in racing to date?
Winning the King's Royal, really, still, that's the biggest race that I have won. Biggest paying race, most prestigious is probably winning that race. Of course, winning the Knoxville Track Championship, that's, you know, that's an accomplishment in itself. I mean, just a championship in any form, I guess you'd say. And I've won several other ones which aren't to the level of Knoxville, should I say, but I've won some SCOA stuff like back around New Mexico, the Southwest. I've won 2 of those. I've won a non-wing championship this year, which was, it's not nothing big, but it's in an MRA. So any win at any championship, no matter what it is, it's still something to write down in your own resume and in record books, and it's mine, and I have accomplished that.
Are there races or tracks you want to run that you have not?
Well, there's some pavement tracks. I'm not much of a pavement racer, never had that opportunity, should I say, to do that. One would be Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I think that'd be awesome to make some laps around there. Another one, Charlotte Motor Speedway. I think that's an awesome facility as far as, you know, that. Really dirt tracks. I really can't say that there's any. I mean, I've raced all the ones that are the big, you know, I've raced Springfield Mile, I've raced the Indy Mile, I've raced New York Miles. I mean, I've raced all the big dirt racetracks that there is. Oh, another one I almost forgot, in Indiana, Winchester. That would be one that I'd never, you know, pavement track, but that might be one that I would like to have raced on.
What do you think of all the kids in racing today? Well,
I think it's great for the sport because, you know, I was a kid once and they all grow up and they're kids now, and, you know, young kids, you know, see, they're getting younger every day. I mean, and the opportunities that they have today go a long way in their careers with just the opportunities that are there, just learning about the sport, not only in media type things, but in just the technology. For instance, the PRI trade shows that we come to, and just the what's the word I'm looking for? I guess the opportunities. It's just there's so many much more opportunities. I wish that I was young again today and be exposed to all that the kids can be exposed to today that wasn't there 25 years ago.
What do you do for relaxation, non-racing related?
Lay on the couch and watch TV. I enjoy playing golf. I don't get to do it as much as I used to do it. That's kind of a fun thing for me. I'm not anything great at it, but I enjoy doing it. It's fun, good morale kind of thing to do with friends. But I don't get to do it as much as I like to. But that's probably the biggest thing besides laying around and spending time with the family.
How do you like running without a wing?
I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It's challenging. It's different. I wouldn't want to have to make my living doing that. I'm glad that I've made my living racing in the past years, you know, in the last 20 years of racing with a wing. But I enjoy doing it. It's a challenge to me. It's a different type of racing. I mean, it's close racing. They've got to race hard in those two. A lot of people ask this question, which is is harder on a driver, and I think they're both hard. More physically demanding is a wing sprint car because you're going so much faster in the G-forces at the corner and everything like that. But they're both still got to get up and drive them, and they're still both a lot of work.
Johnny Herrera, thanks for sitting down with TalkToDrivers.com.
Thank you.